Hey everybody, Melissa here. Welcome to my channel. I'm so excited you're all here. So today we're going to be in Office 365 and I'm going to show you how to create a test or a quiz in Forms. And I am particularly excited about this tutorial because I come from the age of handwritten or Scantron. You know, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth and we didn't have technology like this. And it's really neat because once we create our question, tell it which answer is correct, and send the link, it's pretty much automated from there. Forms brings in all the responses. It grades the quizzes. It actually charts the answer so you can see trends, and it allows you to respond to each person that took it and add feedback if you need to. Now that's come a long way from Scantron, handwritten, and dinosaurs. So I can't wait to show you how this works. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to access our forms from our Office 365 online account. Now once you log in, if you notice, there is a toolbar on the left-hand side, and I have the Forms app at the bottom of mine. If yours isn't already there, you can go up to your search bar, type in Forms, and when you click on it, it will bring you here. Now let's click on New Form. And we can go in and change the name of the form. We'll just call this Test 1. We can enter a description. And then when we click on Add New, it's going to give us the different types of form fields that we can add. We can do a multiple choice and add options as we need them. We can tell it that they can put multiple answers if there's more than one correct answer, whether it's required or not. If you do your drop down, you have the ability to do what's called shuffle the options. Let's just say you put your options up here in alphabetical order. If you come down here and click this, it'll randomize them for you. You can also make it a drop down. If you see here, we have radio buttons for them to select the right answer. If we click on drop down, it's going to make it a drop down menu for them to select the right answer. We also have what's called a subtitle. Now, if you've ever had a question that says, on this day in 1800, this happened, and you need a little bit more information, you can add that with your subtitle. And then there's add branching. And I don't mess too much with add branching because basically what it does is tells it what to do when they choose an option. You have the ability to go to next or go to the end of the form. I keep it at next because if I forget that I put one at the end of the form and it doesn't let them answer all the questions, then I have accidentally affected their score and I don't want to do that, so I keep it on next. If we go back, let's add another one. We have the ability to add a text box. We can put in our question and let them have an answer box. We can tell it a long answer, which gives it a little bit more room, whether it's required or not. And then we can add restrictions. Now we can tell it that this field must be a number. And then we can go even further and define what the number must be. Let's just say it needs to be greater than or equal to 10. Hit tab, and that's defined that field. If we go to add new again, and we go to rating, well, this is just what you think it is. It is a star rating. 1 star, 2 star, 5 star. It goes all the way up to 10 stars, but I'm going to leave it 5. We can also change our symbol from a star to a number and let them give it from 1 to 5. But I'm going to put it back to a star. Required or not. And we can also do labels. 1 star is we are not good. 5 stars, we are awesome. Tab, and it will name those stars. If we hit add new again, we can go to a date. Now when I generally use the date is one of two ways. If I have a question that says, you know, what date was this organization established, then I allow them to put in a date. The other way I use it is part of an agreement. If I have a terms of service or terms of agreement and it needs like a signature or a date, then I'm going to use this field. We go to add new, do our drop down, and we can do a ranking. Now this comes in handy if you have something you need them to order, like in what order did these events happen, and you randomize that list, then they can move them up and down to put them in the correct order they need to be in to answer the question. Add new again. A Likert. We have all taken one of these. This is, you put in a question, how do you identify yourself on a team? And you may have, I'm the leader, I am the follower, I am the creator, and so on. And that's what this is for. So we've all taken those personality type tests to see if you're a quote unquote good fit for a company and whatnot. So that's where those come in handy. If we go to add new, we can do a file upload. I've done this from Word and taken a Word document questionnaire and translated it or transformed it into a form. And it works pretty well. The next is a Net Promoter Score. Now, we've all seen these. If we've shopped anywhere, especially online, especially Amazon or someplace like that, you may get something through, especially if they have Google reviews, you may get something from Google that says, how was your experience? How likely are you to recommend us? How was your service on a scale of 1 to 10? And things like that. That's where this comes in handy. I'm extremely likely to recommend you, or I'm not telling anybody. Add new, and we can add a section, which means we can define what this section is. Like mainly where I would use it is thank you and enter a description. Now that we have an idea of how forms works, let's go create our quiz or our test. Yay! I'm going to close out of here and I'm going to tell it new form, but I'm going to do the drop down here and I'm going to tell it new quiz, which is really nice because it has a lot of the functionality built in, which is great. So new quiz, and we're going to name it. I love the name test 1. We can enter a description. We're going to add a new, and I'm just going to do this one as multiple choice to give you an idea of how it works. So let's do multiple choice, do our question, option 3, option 4. Now if you look on each option, you have a trash can to get rid of it. You have a comment button. And you can click here, say that this answer needs a little bit more information to make them think. You can add that there. And then you have to tell it which one of these is the correct answer. We're just going to say number 4 is the correct answer here. You can allow them to do multiple answers, make it required, and then drop down. You can do math questions. I'll do one of those at the end and add a subtitle and branching. And then we need to tell it how many points it is. Let's make it 2. I've taken a lot of tests in my years that all the answers are 2 points. So there you have that. Now we have the ability to copy the question, which I'm going to do in this case just because I'm using the same format, but you don't have to, but it does come in handy sometimes because then you just have to change your question and your option names and then change which one is the correct answer. I'm going to copy this again and I'm going to make this one the correct answer and I'm going to copy it again and make this one the correct answer. Now you guys are going to have to help me remember because I'm telling you, I'm going to fail this because I'm not going to remember what I made what. Okay, now let's look at the math. So if we go to more settings and we tell it it's math, then we have the ability to enter an equation. So we have the ability to do square roots, we have the ability to do exponents, logs. We can do 2 times 2, and watch what happens when we hit OK. It gives us a list of possible answers, and we are welcome to use those. If I do add all, look what it's done. It's put in there its suggestions, and then I just mark which one's correct. That's pretty neat if you're doing a math test. Okay, so now let's go take the test and see what it looks like. So what we want to do is first we can preview the test. And this is, it's going to say, hi Melissa, when you submit the form, the owner will see your name and email address. Okay, so this has all of our questions and a submit button. If we want to see what it looks like on the mobile, ooh, pretty cool. Looks pretty good for a mobile. Okay, so let's go back. And now we want to share it. So we have the ability to decide who can take the test. Is it only people in my organization, anyone, or specific people in my organization? Generally, if you're doing a training class, you're a teacher, you're going to have specific people that are going to be able to take this test, and you can define those here by their name, email address, group, or whatever. So let me go ahead and put me in here. And now you can see who can respond. It has my initials. So we have the ability to send this URL as a link, as a QR code, which will come in really handy if you do a PowerPoint presentation. We can send it embedded, which means if you have a web page that you're directing your students to, something equivalent of like Blackboard, then they can take it via that. And then you can send it via email. And I'm going to tell it to shorten this URL, otherwise it's going to be a mile long. So for what we're doing here, rather than email it to myself or anything like that, I'm just going to copy this URL and I'm going to go take the test. And I'm going to go back to my first tab, paste it. Oh, and there's my test. Okay, I have no idea what I made these, so this should be fun. So I'm just going to go through here and pick some of these. There we go. I'm sure I got them all wrong. Oh, 2 times 2. Oh, I know that one. At least I got one right. And I'm going to hit submit. Perfect. It's been submitted. Now I can view my results. Oh, Lord. I got 4 out of 12. Great. I did great. And it's going to tell me which ones I got wrong and which ones I got right. Now let's go see what the test creator sees. If we go back to where our test is, look at this. It says we've got 1 response. Ooh, I'm not going to like these test scores. I just have a feeling. Okay, so we get some information here that we've gotten 1 response, an average score of 4. I did great. And that the test is still active. Now, as more people take this test, this average is going to go up because it's just going to keep averaging and averaging. You can also export it to Excel if you want to, if you need to do any kind of pivot table. If we do our more options here, we can delete the responses, we can print the summary, or we can create a summary link to send it out to whomever else or whoever else might need to see these responses. So let's go look at what we have here. I missed that one. Where this comes in handy, this analysis here, is say you get to question 2, and let's just say you have 20 people that have taken this test, whether it be students or it be employees. And let's just say out of those 20, like 18 got this wrong. That's going to help you determine maybe the course of things you need to review in your class or things that you need to review in training or anything like that. So this is pretty powerful for any type of lesson planning. Okay, let's review the answers for this test. So this takes me into Melissa Compton. If I do my drop down here and I have 18 people, I can pick them individually and see what they got right and what they got wrong. If we go to questions, that is the questions. Okay, so let's go back. Now let's post the scores. I'm not going to lie, the first time I did this and I did it, it scared me because I thought, oh my gosh, everybody knows everybody else's scores. No, they don't. So if there's 18 people out here, you can do them all at once and you can post the scores, and only that particular person that took the test is going to receive that response, not everybody. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick myself, and I'm going to tell it to post my score. If I do a preview, it posted my score. How awesome is that? Now you have forms in Office 365 that will help you gauge where your students or your employees are based on the test that you send out. Once you create that question, the answer, and you send it, it brings in all of the responses, it auto grades them, and it gives you your graphs so you know how to plan for the future to optimize what you're teaching in any environment. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content like this in the future, please subscribe to my channel before you go. And if you have any questions, feedback, or ideas for future content, and drop me a comment, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Until then, thanks so much for watching.